I've racked up thousands of hours in Pokemon Scarlet preparing for this question. Can Ampharos alone become champion of Paldea? And well, there's only one way to find out. Ampharos has been a favourite of mine ever since I caught my first Mareep back in Pokemon Gold, so when I set my sights on a one Pokemon challenge, Ampharos was the obvious choice. There is a slight problem though. Ampharos doesn't learn a single healing move. That means no health regeneration in battle except one crucial exception, but we'll get back to that soon. Although Mareep is available before the first gym, this challenge does require me to rely on a starter Pokemon temporarily, and for this run we chose Sprigatito, which will hopefully also give us an edge against Nemona later in the story. By the way, before we dive into the challenge, if you are enjoying this kind of content and do want to see even more, hit that subscribe button. It means the world to me and keeps the videos coming. Thank you. Our first task after leaving Messagoza is to catch a Mareep, but not just any Mareep. We head on over to the Go for Broke grill and grab ourselves a Clorfalagilo, giving us electric count at level 1. And we get to work. We hop in and out of Cortondo resetting spawns, and after what feels like forever, a spark of colour catches our eye. The bright pink Mareep stands out from the crowd, and little does she know it yet, but she is about to have the adventure of a lifetime. Cortondo holds the first gym of the run and we get to level 15 ready for the bug gym. At level 15 Mareep evolves into Fluffy, and for that extra firepower we head out in search of Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt can be found just outside Port Marinada and we can head right on over there to pick it up. This turned out to be a great play, becoming a staple of the run. After Olive Ronaldo made another appearance, we're able to face Katie. We start the battle and Terrastalize straight away for that extra damage. A single Thunderbolt takes out Nimble and a second takes out Tarantula. Last up is Katie's ace, Bugterra Teddiursa, and although she survives a Thunderbolt, she can't survive a second attack, giving us the win. First gym completed, we're on a roll. On the east side of Messagoza, we come across the first of the Titan challenges, and one that could prove difficult. Although electric moves do hit rock-type Pokemon, it isn't that effective and can really hurt us in return. There was only one thing for it: to hide. Hidden on a ledge above Cascarathia is a move that will hopefully turn the tide for us in this battle. Ground moves are super effective against rock, and after taking a detour through Medali, we're able to pick up the TM for Dig. Dig is a 2-turn move. The first turn we tunnel underground and avoid most attacks before popping back up to deal damage in turn 2. Dig is one of the few ground moves Fluffy can actually learn, and it should make this battle much easier. We head on over and start the battle against the giant crab. Outspeeding, Clorf manages to deal damage before we go underground. We get a free hit when Clorf uses block, and in turn 4 our second dig takes Clorf well below half health. Clorf's Angus Shell ability is great for us because it lowers his defense, and we finish phase 1 in just 3 hits. Joined by Arven in phase 2, we're immediately hit by a Rock Tomb, reducing our speed. With Arven playing support, we tank another Rock Tomb, dropping us in KO range, but head back underground for a second dig. Clorf KOs Shelder with a harsh Rock Tomb, but we get him in KO range with a third dig. Clorf's ability boosts his attack, meaning we're in KO range from a Rock Tomb, and he definitely outspeeds us. I am praying Fluffy survives another hit or we fail our first challenge. Clorf decides to Rock Smash and we survive the hit heading underground. We burst out of the ground and land the final blow, conquering the Rock Titan and claiming our victory in our second challenge. Before we head on over to Artisan, we buy arguably the most important item of the run: Leftovers. As one of the few ways to heal in battle, Leftovers restores 1/16 of your health at the end of each turn. Although having Leftovers heals us, it can't protect us from status moves and is a massive tactical trade-off. Getting level 19, we head on over to face Brassius, the Grass Gym Leader. There are no moves we can learn that are super effective, and that means we just have to try and out DPS our opponent. We send out Fluffy against Brassius' first Pokemon, Petilil. and after tanking our Swift, we're instantly put to sleep with no way of waking up. With each turn, our health dwindles, but all I can do is pray Fluffy wakes up before it's too late. Finally, Fluffy wakes up, and thanks to leftovers keeping us alive, we manage to land 2 Swifts and secure the KO. Next up is Smoliv, and we try a Thunderbolt, which actually does a decent amount of damage. A second attack finishes off Smoliv, and we're up against Brassius's ace, Sudowoodo. We Terastallize and use a boosted Thunderbolt, praying it does decent damage. With a third of his health gone, Sudowoodo hits hard with Trailblaze, but Fluffy's ability paralyzes it in return. This could be the break we need. A second exchange leaves us both in KO range, but Trailblaze boosts speed with each use, meaning this isn't looking good. Fortunately though, Paralyze slows our opponent, and even with his double speed boost, he can't get the KO on us before we finish him off. With that final strike, Sudowoodo crumbles, and that's the second gym down and our third victory. We scraped through this one thanks to leftovers, but will it be enough for future battles? Straight from our victory against Brassius, we take on the second Titan challenge. The Sky Titan is arguably one of the hardest early game challenges due to its speed and sheer damage. I had nightmares after our Grass Starters Only challenge, but this should be much easier. We swap leftovers for a magnet to boost our damage, proving to be an essential edge for this fight. Now level 20, Fluffy takes a wing attack like a champ and paralyzes the speed demon, finally slowing him down. We Terastallize on turn 2 and Fluffy unleashes a magnet boosted Thunderbolt, boom! Phase 1 down in one devastating hit. Phase 2 kicks off with Fluffy dodging a rock throw, and without missing a beat we retaliate with another Terra boosted Thunderbolt. I knew this one would be easy with electric Pokemon, but that was ridiculous. With the second Titan down, Koraidon learns the ability to swim, opening up a world of strategies for future battles. Next up on our hit list is Giacomo and the Dark Base. This is not only the biggest challenge so far, it's also one of the reasons we fail. Team Star Bases can only be attempted with 3 Pokemon, and as this is a single Pokemon challenge, we technically lose. Semantics aside, we grab Sprigatito and the enigmatic Lechonk from our box. The temporary team of 3 fight their way through the Dark Base, defeating 30 opponents en route, finally coming face to face with Giacomo himself. Each of the Team Star bosses has their own super powered Reveroom, and these are definite run killers. Giacomo's Segin proves his strength time and time again. Fluffy just can't get past this chunk of metal. Racking up the fails, I am praying for a miracle. After 6 giant fails, we head into attempt number 7, hoping this is finally the one. Giacomo opens with Pawniard, and although he outspeeds us, he can't survive a Terastallized Thunderbolt. Now holding Shell Bell, we heal based on the damage we deal, and this proves vital in our battle. After destroying Pawniard, Giacomo sends out his Reveroom and hits hard straight away with Wicked Talk. Fluffy lands a Terra boosted Thunderbolt, but this oversized lawnmower barely flinches. This is going to be tough. Like a lamb to the slaughter, Giacomo uses Metal Sound, harshly reducing our defense and teeing up a harsh follow-up attack. We reply with a Thunderbolt, moving Segin close to KO range. Knowing that we're very much outsped, I am about to reset the fight when I see something incredible. 6 agonizing fails led to this one moment, and just as I'm about to throw in the towel, Giacomo makes an unthinkable mistake. He uses a second Metal Sound. Fluffy, taking no prisoners, jumps at the chance and finishes off Giacomo's ace with a third Thunderbolt. The first of the Team Star bases is destroyed, and by the skin of our teeth, this could be difficult. After beating Giacomo, we head straight over to Levincia for a challenge I wasn't expecting to be so annoying. Levincia is home to the Electric Gym and led by its eccentric yet iconic leader Iono. Before we can attempt that battle though, Nemona wants to test our voltage. We marched over to the town's gym court and head straight into battle. Nemona kicks things off with Rockruff, and wasting no time, she boosts its attack with Howl. We go straight underground though to prepare a dig. Turn 2 and Rockruff boosts his evasiveness, but dig lands anyway. In what could be an annoying move, Rockruff uses Double Team again, but no issue for Flaffy, who uses Swift. Pawmi comes out next and begins charging power. We reply with a Swift and get some good damage. Pawmi uses Dig in turn 2 and we miss our second Swift. Had I known, that would have been a perfect time to use Dig ourselves. After finishing off Pawmi with a well-timed Dig, Nemona sends out her ace, Quaxwell. Quaxwell shouldn't be a massive threat, however its sheer speed means it's pretty much always going to beat us to the punch. Although in this battle that isn't a huge issue, for future ones our health might not always be so high. A Terra boosted Thunderbolt KOs Quaxwell and we get the win over Nemona. Time to face Iono. Frustrated doesn't even begin to describe this battle. Every attempt taught me something new, but it always ended the same. Stuck against my nemesis, Bellibolt. The wall of toady defense that is Bellibolt quickly became my arch nemesis, and the times we did get past him, Flaffy had such little health left, Mismagius just picked her off. Time for a new plan. Leveling up to level 30, we jumped on Koraidon and went out in search of a new move that would hopefully turn the tide. Deep in the eastern desert, under a forgotten scaffold, we found it. The golden glimmer of hope that could change everything. Power Gem. Power Gem is a rock type move and therefore neutral damage against an electric type Pokemon. More importantly though, it's a special move which is perfect for our special attacker. Now at level 30 and fully evolved, we head back to Levincia with our newfound confidence and attempt Iono for the 5th time. Iono sends out Outtro first, and outspeeding we hit with a super effective Power Gem, Okoing the speedy bird. Next up is Luxio, and we do some serious damage with Ampharos' other new move, Bulldoze. A second Bulldoze KOs Luxio and Iono sends out our nemesis, Bellibolt. We hit with a Bulldoze first, getting some good chip damage off but also lowering his speed. Turn 2 and it's time for Plan Squash the Frog. Ampharos unleashes Power Gem and it's a massive hit. Bellibolt's HP plummets and for the first time the wall crumbles. Making it look easy, a second Power Gem KOs the nuisance Toad and we're onto Iono's ace Mismagius. Mismagius dodges our first strike and counters with Confuse Ray, turning the tide against us. Turn 2 and Ampharos takes a Hex but replies with a Power Gem, taking Mismagius down to half health. With no way to clear confusion, we attack again with Power Gem. Amazingly, Ampharos snaps out of confusion and we get a second Power Gem to connect. Mismagius manages to confuse us again though, and after hitting ourselves in confusion, we finally put this battle to bed, hitting through confusion in turn 3. Victory at last, but this is no time to rest, there is always another challenge. Calling Sprigatito and Lechonk back from their vacation, we head on over to Mela's fiery camp. Despite our supporting acts fainting, Ampharos carries the team, clearing the 30 required Pokemon and drawing Mela's attention. Riding in on her Hellraiser, we prepare for battle. We kick off the battle against Torkoal and try the super effective Bulldoze. After 2 hits, we've chipped away at the Fire Turtle's speed and try a Power Gem instead. It instantly KOs Torkoal and I'm scratching my head as to why I didn't try that in the first place. Mela sends out her ace, Shedder the fire-breathing Revavroom, but we're ready for it. Power Gem lined up, a single hit takes Shedder down by over a third and we're looking strong. A second Power Gem takes us well into KO territory, but Shedder has been priming a big move with 2 Screeches, speeding us each time. I'm nervous the next move will be enough to KO us. I select Power Gem a 3rd time and cross my fingers. Mela uses Blazing Talk and I am nervous. With 21 health remaining, Ampharos survives the boosted attack and a 3rd Power Gem destroys Mela's Starmobile, extinguishing her hopes of victory. Second Team Starbase down and we are on fire. Hot off the win over Mela, we head straight into the desert in search of the Steel Titan. We swap out leftovers for Magna, opting for the damage boost. Phase 1 starts and that damage boost is huge. A single Thunderbolt ends Phase 1 and we're on to Phase 2. Arven decides to help us in Phase 2, but he isn't really needed. Ampharos takes charge, literally, ending Phase 2 with a massive Thunderbolt. With the Steel Titan defeated, Koraidon can now jump higher and it's about time too. After sprinting halfway across the country to help Kofu, we're confronted by this delightful young man. We quickly put Hugo back in his box before giving Kofu his wallet and buying the special seaweed. Permission secured, we're finally able to fight Kofu and head back to Cascarafa for the quickest gym battle of the run. As expected, Kofu's water Pokemon are no match for Ampharos and we breeze through. A single Thunderbolt takes out Veluza, Outtro and Crabominable, not a surprise but definitely satisfying. Ampharos is flying through this challenge, but if there's a Pokemon you want me to attempt the run with, let me know down below. Although we flashed past Kofu, next up is the Poison Base, and that won't be fun. We reached the Poison Base with a level 33 Ampharos ready to rock and roll. Sprigatito and Lechonk are still much lower levels, but they can't help against Atticus anyway. We head in to face the horde of poison Pokemon and watch as Lechonk knocks out a Haunter 20 levels higher. What a beast! Catching the attention of Atticus, he confronts us riding in on his poison chariot and we prepare for battle. Atticus has 4 poison Pokemon and all of them headache inducing. Skuntank's ability to poison can easily ruin a run in the first turn. Now I'd normally counter this with a Pekka Berry, but I'd also normally have at least a second Pokemon as backup. Next up is the melting wall that is Muk. Muk's health and defense make it a damage sponge and when poisoned the battle can easily fade away. Atticus's third Pokemon is a super speedy Revavroom who will either poison or destroy health bars with a harsh physical attack. Last up is Navi the Starmobile, Atticus's ace Pokemon who could best a team on its own. We try and fail time after time after time until finally I decide to change tactic. Over in Medali sits the normal gym and its leader Larry is in for a world of pain. Frustration brewing, we head on over to Medali to take on the normal gym, hoping for a much needed win. En route we make a pit stop in Levincia to grab a move that promises to tip the scales in our favour. Larry's first Pokemon, Kamala, is an adorable sleeping koala who loves to use Yawn. Without a teammate to swap to though, this could be a problem, if not for our new move. Electric Terrain stops Pokemon falling asleep and boosts electric type moves, meaning this just became our secret weapon. We skip through the gym test with a pre-recorded recipe and come face to face with Larry. In turn 1 we use Electric Terrain and like clockwork Kamala uses Yawn which completely fails. A boosted Thunderbolt KOs the dozing Kamala and we're onto ground attacking Dunsparce. For this one we combine Electric Terrain with our Terra boost and a Thunderbolt destroys Larry's second Pokemon. Time for his ace. Larry's ace is a lightning quick Staraptor who unfortunately terrors to normal, avoiding our electric boost. Although he outsped us with Facade, the combo boosted Thunderbolt proves too much and Staraptor goes down. Larry defeated, we definitely needed that win. We get another ego boost straight away when Nemona challenges to battle and we quickly dispatch her Pokemon. It's time to rematch Atticus and this time I won't leave without a win. Between previous Atticus battles, the normal gym and Nemona, Ampharos is now level 42 and this should hopefully be much easier. We swap leftovers for a Pekka Berry and head into battle. Terra boosting, we go on the offensive straight away. Outspeeding though, Skuntank poisons us and uses up our only berry. Our Thunderbolt lands and KOs Skuntank. Next up is Revavroom. Outsped again, Revavroom chunks our health with a Bulldoze. We reply with an Oko Thunderbolt and this is looking promising. The sludgy wall that is Muk comes out next and even he manages to outspeed us. Fortunately though, it doesn't poison us and Ampharos gets the KO with a Thunderbolt. Atticus sends out his ace and this is all or nothing. With Navi's first attack, Ampharos gets poisoned with only 48 HP left. This just got a whole lot harder. A single Terra boosted Thunderbolt drops Navi below half HP and like a champion, Ampharos is fighting back. We lock in a second attack, hopefully finishing off this battle once and for all. Noxious Talk hits and leaves us with 18 HP remaining. If our attack misses, we lose. Ampharos doesn't miss though, and with a huge Thunderbolt we finish off Navi defeating Atticus. As Atticus tells his story, the sense of relief is unreal. Hoping for a much smoother ride, we head on over to the Ghost Gym. Pulling Sprigatito out of retirement, we get ready for the only double team gym of the game. We taught Ampharos Discharge for this battle specifically, and I know she won't let me down. The hardest part of this gym was watching the poor defenseless, severely underleveled Sprigatito get wiped out battle after battle until we finally reach Rhyme. Turn 1, we terrestrialise Ampharos and use Discharge but get caught by a Sucker Punch. Discharge helpfully also takes out Sprigatito, ensuring we don't get any benefit from him being in play. Turn 2, and after taking a second Sucker Punch, Discharge lands, taking out Banette and paralysing Mimikyu. Outspeeding in turn 3, Discharge lands and takes out Mimikyu this time while also getting the Paralyze on Houndstone. Rhyme's ace comes out to play and immediately drops below half to another Discharge, KOing Houndstone in the process. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We finish off Toxtricity and the battle with another Discharge. After that battle, I'm definitely feeling more confident about the run and ready to face our next challenge. Lumbering around the Western Desert is one of our toughest battles yet, the Ground Titan. Thankfully, I've got a trick up my sleeve. Ice is super effective against ground and Ampharos does have an ice move. Ice Punch, which we teach via TM, may be a physical attack, but I'm banking on it doing just enough to turn the tide in our favour. Venturing into the desert, we face off against the colossal foe, but the real reason I've picked Ice Punch isn't its damage output, it's the chance to freeze. On the 4th attempt, luck finally strikes. Ampharos hangs on with just 29 HP and lands a critical Ice Punch, freezing the Ground Titan in its tracks. With our enemy immobilised, we turn the battle into target practice and wrap up Phase 1. Now for Phase 2, and with some help from Arven. Titans in this stage have significantly more health and Ice Punch is struggling for damage. Thankfully though, Arven Scavillain puts in some solid work with Razor Leaf. That is until he gets obliterated by a monstrous Brick Break, leaving us alone against the quaking Titan. Outsped and hit by another Brick Break, Ampharos is dropped to KO range, but her static ability activates and paralyses the Titan, a true game changer. We counter with Ice Punch and get a free hit next turn as Paralyze stops the attack. Incredibly, after Ampharos lands her next move, Great Tusk uses Knockoff instead of Brick Break. This is huge. Brick Break would have easily KO'd us, but Knockoff keeps us in the game. Now with both Pokemon in KO range, Ampharos lines up one final Ice Punch against the paralysed Great Tusk. Holding my breath, I watched as the attack connects and it's just enough. With Great Tusk, the quaking Earth Titan defeated, Ampharos claims another massive victory. What a win for our Electric Star. Finishing up in the desert, we head back south towards our next challenge. High in the mountains sits the Psychic Gym, and to get there we need to head through the Alphanada Cavern. Full of cool Pokemon, I always keep an eye out for a random shiny Pokemon and I wasn't let down. Coming down the hill into the cave entrance, I saw a glint of white and knew something was different. Shiny Salandit, unfortunately a male so can't evolve, but we catch him anyway. We can't use him to battle, but we can use him for Team Star bases, so it was only right to add him to our team. After catching our shiny Salandit, we head up through the cave and into Alphanada. Nemona wants to battle us again before we take on the gym, and we show her who's boss. After Nemona terrestrializes her Duck, we get hit hard by Aqua Step, and again, if not for leftovers, we would definitely have gone down. Our Thunderbolt hits and we Oko the Saltering Duck, winning the battle. These are definitely getting trickier. We work our way through the gym test, finally coming face to face with Tulip. Now over level 50, we took the chance to Hyper Train Ampharos, boosting her stats for this fight, and wow did we need them. Tulip's hard-hitting special moves broke Ampharos' defense easily, and after 2 attempts, we needed a shake-up. We have no super effective moves against Psychic, and that means we're relying on sheer power. Attempt number 3, and I'm hoping I've got the right pattern to win the battle. Turn 1, we use Electric Terrain and tank the first hit while Leftovers heals us. For turn 2, we terrestrialize and use double boosted Thunderbolt, KOing Farigiraf. Outspeeding us, Gardevoir hits us with a Psychic, but Thunderbolt damage is too much in return and Okos our opponent. Next up is a Sparthra, who again outspeeds us with Psychic but can't survive a boosted Thunderbolt. Last up is Florges, who made previous attempts almost impossible. Not this time though. Outspeeding us with Moonblast, we drop below a third but reply with a boosted Thunderbolt doing massive damage. Electric Terrain runs out and I'm hoping a Moonblast doesn't finish us off. Landing her hit, Floor just drops us down to 18 HP, but Ampharos lands her Thunderbolt, finishing the fight. Coming up with strategies to win these fights is so fun, but once again, Leftovers is the true MVP. Another gym down and on to the last one. After overcoming Tulip in Alphanada, we head up the icy slopes in search of Grusha. His ice Pokemon frustrated in the grass only run, but I'm hoping Ampharos can blitz through our opponent. Grusha kicks off the battle with Frostmoth, who doesn't get a chance to set up his boost when a Terra boosted Thunderbolt OHKOs the supporting Moth. Next up is Beartic, and Ampharos wipes him out just as quickly. Titan is out next, and this beast can tank a hit. Outspeeding us, Titan gets an Ice Spinner off, but even he can't survive a Terra boosted Thunderbolt and goes down in a single hit. Last but not least is Altaria, a super tanky dragon and flying type Pokemon who terastallizes to ice as soon as possible. We're instantly outsped and get hit by a Dragon Pulse, but Ampharos stands strong and counters with Thunderbolt. Ice Beam doesn't do much damage either, leaving Ampharos to win the battle with a second Thunderbolt. With that win, Victory Road is nearly complete. All that's in front of us now is the Elite Four. Before we finish Victory Road though, there's some stuff to settle first. Ortega and his team of fairy Pokemon hiding their base on the north coast, and that's where we're heading next. Definitely one of the most frustrating battles of any run. Ortega's ace Rookba seems to confuse with every hit, and this was no different. After making our way through the Team Star base accompanied by Sprigatito and the newly caught Salandit, Rookba stalled our progress. Ampharos fought hard through Ortega's Pokemon, but the sheer damage taken from confusion ended our runs. I did the only other thing I thought could help. We stuffed our face with berries. Holding a Soothe Bell and eating Kelpsy berries boosts our friendship stat with Ampharos. Increased friendship triggers benefits like hanging in on low HP or removing status effects, and I hoped that would be enough to win the battle. We head back to Ortega for attempt number 3 with our new best friend. A Terra boosted Thunderbolt OHKOs Azumarill and Wigglytuff before they could even attack. Although Dashbun manages to hit us, he gets paralysed in return and a Thunderbolt gets the KO. Last up is Rookba, and this time we're ready for him. Opening with Steel Roller, we hit with Thunderbolt, doing massive damage. In turn 2, Rookba uses Confuse Ray, but Ampharos manages to hit through it, putting her opponent on the brink of a knockout. Tanking a Magical Talk and again fighting through the confusion, we manage to land a third Thunderbolt, sealing the victory and beating Ortega. We have one last Team Star base to wipe out, and I know it's going to be harder, but we are 100% ready. Leaving Ortega behind, we head into the jungle for our next battle against Ari and the Fighting Base. Now I knew this battle would be difficult, but I thought with Ampharos' Dazzling Gleam it would be okay, but boy was I wrong. Each of Ari's 5 Pokemon outspeed us, and each one hits hard with physical moves. Ampharos is a glass cannon, and although she can punch hard, those hits stack up. This battle turned into a game of outlast rather than damage, and that gave me an idea. Ampharos learns a move that should flip the switch on this battle, and it's about time we use it. Cotton Guard boosts Ampharos' defense by 3 stages, and that will make all the difference in this battle. The plan is to set up with Cotton Guard straight away before losing too much damage, and it would have worked too if it wasn't for Poison Jab. We reset and try again. Terastallizing, we use Cotton Guard to set up and tank a Poison Jab. Turn 2 and a second Poison Jab doesn't poison us while we get the KO with Thunderbolt. Pessimium comes out next, and a Close Combat does nowhere near as much damage but does lower his defense, meaning a Dazzling Gleam gets the KO. Annihilate falls for the same trap. Close Combat lowers his defense, letting a Dazzling Gleam get the 3rd KO. Lucario has some resistance to fairy moves though, and after dropping us to 95 HP, we reply with an OHKO Thunderbolt. Last up is Calf the Revavroom, and even though we're below half HP, I'm feeling confident. Calf sets up Shift Gear and we use Dazzling Gleam, taking half of his health. I've no idea if Ampharos will survive a boosted hit, but we select Dazzling Gleam again and cross our fingers. Incredibly, Ari uses Shift Gear again, leaving the door open for a Dazzling Gleam to KO her ace Pokemon and handing us the win. After all that, I can't believe this is how we won. Next up is Clavell, and he's definitely no pushover. Ahead of the fight, we prepped Ampharos with Fire Punch over Power Gem and reached level 70. Clavell opens with a Rangaroo and he loves to put people to sleep. Like Kamala though, we use Electric Terrain to stop that happening. A double boosted Thunderbolt wipes out a Rangaroo in one hit, and although Gyarados manages to hit us with an Earthquake, he can't survive Thunderbolt either. The super tanky Abomasnow is up next and he survives a Thunderbolt, getting his Aurora Veil up before going down to a second hit. Protected by Aurora Veil, Sinistea survives and uses Shell Smash, and that is not good. Outspeeding us in turn 2, Sinistea hits us with Shadow Ball and it hurts. With only 60 HP remaining, Ampharos finishes off her opponent, but this just got a whole lot harder. Amoonguss comes out next and he loves to use Spore. Even with low HP, we have to use Electric Terrain again before it's game over. What timing! Ampharos gets her move off and blocks Amoonguss's Spore. A Thunderbolt drops Amoonguss low, but he replies with Giga Drain, restoring some health. A second attack finishes off Amoonguss and we're on to Clavell's ace with only red HP and a Dream. I've no idea if we outspeed Skeledirge, and I don't know if we could survive if we did. There's nothing left to do though but hope that Thunderbolt is enough. We watch Skeledirge terrestrialize and cross everything possible. Ampharos does attack first and does land a hit, and it is huge. Skeledirge goes down and we beat direct to Clavell. That was massive. Last up for Starfall Street is Penny, and I'm always a little disappointed by this fight. Penny uses all evolutions, which is admirable but also makes the fight a little straightforward. Terastallizing in turn 1, 2 Dazzling Gleams takes out Umbreon. A boosted Thunderbolt finishes off Flareon and then Vaporeon too. Fire Punch does very little damage against Leafeon, so we switch back to Thunderbolt, which gets the KO. Jolteon proves tricky but can't survive 2 Dazzling Gleams. Penny's Ace Sylveon is up next and we have no good fairy counters except sheer damage. A Thunderbolt takes Sylveon below half and gets a perfectly timed Paralyze. In reply though, Sylveon hits with Moonblast, which drops us down to 15 HP. Leftovers proving its weight in gold again. With Sylveon paralysed, we get the speed advantage required and finish off the battle with Penny. I'm pretty sure Sylveon knows Quick Attack though, so I think we actually dodged a bullet. Anyway, Penny is defeated and we finally complete Starfall Street. The last thing on our list before the Elite Four is to find and defeat the false Dragon Titan. We head on over to Castle Warrior Lake and seek out the giant Tatsugiri. This is definitely one of the easier Titan battles, especially with an electric type. We finish off Dondozo in phase 1 with a single Thunderbolt, and even though we're joined by Arven for phase 2, he doesn't get a look in. Thunderbolt destroys the second phase and we're up against the Dragon type Tatsugiri. Luckily for us, Ampharos has Dazzling Gleam, which finishes off the false dragon in just 3 moves. Titan down, Path of Legends completed, and Koraidon back to his best. Time for the Elite Four. Rika is definitely the hardest opponent in the Elite Four and we have to come in prepared. Throughout this journey, Ampharos has been a special attacker only, but that changes now. We use a Mint to boost Ampharos' attack over special attack and teach her Trailblaze, a grass attacking move that also boosts speed. Rika's first Pokemon Whiscash being water and ground means this attack does work, although it doesn't KO him. We tank an Earth Power and finish off the opener in turn 2. Next up is Donphan, and as he only has physical moves, we use Cotton Guard straight away. A second Cotton Guard maxes our defense stat and Donphan's Earthquake does nothing. We use Ice Punch to take out Donphan, and even though it takes 3 hits, we're still in good shape thanks to our defensive boost and leftovers. Before we finished him off though, we got a light screen in play protecting us from special moves. Out next is Dugtrio, who actually goes down to a single Ice Punch, leading us on to Camerupt and the reason we needed light screen. Camerupt is a tank and uses Earth Power, which could ruin us. Not today though, as all our prep pays off and we finish him off with Ice Punches. That was at the cost of Yawn though, meaning Ampharos is fast asleep as Clodsire comes out. Amazingly, Clodsire uses Protect while we're asleep, giving us a free turn. We finally wake up in turn 5 with an Ice Punch, and that defense boost came in clutch. It protected us from the oncoming earthquakes. A second Ice Punch KOs Clodsire and we're through to Poppy. Reverting back to special attack focus with a second mint, we heal up and challenge Elite Four member Poppy. The steel-wielding child can be challenging but not for this run. Ampharos and her special attacks make it look easy. We relearn Thunderbolt and Power Gem for this fight, and a single Thunderbolt takes out Copper Jar, followed closely by Bronzong. Swapping it up for Magnezone, we get some good hits off with Power Gem, and before we go for the KO, we use Cotton Guard to boost our defense. A fourth Power Gem takes out Magnezone, and out comes Corviknight. A huge Thunderbolt wipes out the Steel Bird though, and we're on to Poppy's ace. Tinkaton is the reason we used Cotton Guard earlier, and her use of physical moves could quickly flip the battle. With that defense boost though, her attacks do minimal damage, and Ampharos can finish off the battle with a second Thunderbolt. Our next battle is against Larry, and this should be a fun one. Larry uses flying type Pokemon for this battle, meaning this should be target practice for our electric type moves. We Terastallize in turn 1 against Larry's Tropius, which is instantly deleted. Staraptor comes out next, and although he beats us in speed, he can't survive a Thunderbolt. Altaria comes out next and is quickly dispatched with a perfectly executed Power Gem. Oricario suffers the same fate with another Oko Power Gem, and last up is Flamigo. Once he'd finished Terastallizing, a single Thunderbolt KOs Larry's ace and finishes the battle. Last up is Old Evil Eyes Hassel and his Dragon type Pokemon. We heal up and swap our moves around to include Dragon Pulse before starting the fight. Hassel sends out Noivern, who outspeeds us and hits hard with Super Fang, dropping us below half health. Great start. Ampharos finishes her off with a massive Thunderbolt, bringing out Dragalge. Dragalge is an annoying Pokemon due to its ability to poison, but Ampharos quickly removes him from play with a Dragon Pulse. Next up is Flapple, and we take the opportunity to boost our defense before OHKOing with Dragon Pulse. A second Dragon Pulse takes out Haxorus, a massive shame because he's such an awesome Pokemon. Last up is Baxcalibur, and that Cotton Guard proves its worth, reducing the damage from his Glaive Rush just enough to retaliate with Dragon Pulse. Just like that, we've beaten the Elite Four and come up against Geeta. Geeta opens with a Sparthra, and we Terastallize straight into a Thunderbolt, KOing the weird looking bird. Next up is Avalugg, and we use a Power Gem to OHKO the giant iceberg. Geeta sends out her King Gambit, but we manage to take him out with a huge Thunderbolt. Geeta's third Pokemon, Go-Go, could be tricky for us as our moves aren't super effective, but a critical hit opens the battle in our favour and a second finishes him off. Veluza comes out next, but doesn't last long when Ampharos lands a Thunderbolt. Last up is Geeta's ace, Glimmora, the rock Pokemon, a type we don't have a true counter for and who knows ground moves. Instantly getting an Earth Power off, we reply with Power Gem and get another critical hit, reducing Glimmora well into KO range. A second Earth Power takes us into yellow HP, but our second Power Gem finishes off the Rock Flower, and with that, we beat Geeta. There's one last challenge to complete Victory Road, and she won't let us escape without a battle. After a cinematic opening, we're able to battle Nemona as true equals, and this time we're in for a proper fight. Opening with Lycanroc, I know this matchup hurts. We use Cotton Guard straight away, tanking a Drill Run. In turn 2, we attack with Power Gem but take a critical hit Drill Run in the process. Now down to a third of health, we finish off Lycanroc, but it's an uphill battle from here. Orthworm is up next, and we use Cotton Guard again to max our defense, eating up an Earthquake. Orthworm goes down to a Thunderbolt next turn, and out comes the Dunsparce. We Terastallize into a Thunderbolt, hoping the boosted attack KOs, but it leaves him with 1 HP remaining. Of course it does. We eat up a Drill Run with our boosted defense stats and finish off Nemona's third Pokemon. Pawmot is up next, and I'm regretting not bringing Dazzling Gleam for this one. With close combat reducing Pawmot's stats, we do great damage with a Power Gem, but it still takes 2 hits to take him down. Goodra is up next, and we tank a Dragon Pulse, dropping us down to 70 health. Thunderbolt does almost no damage, and this is looking difficult. We use Ice Punch next, which drops Goodra low, but surviving hits us again with Dragon Pulse, and we are well into KO range. A second Ice Punch finishes off Goodra, and we face Nemona's ace with 64 HP remaining. I have no idea if that's enough to tank a Terra boosted Aqua Step, but I select Thunderbolt and hope. Incredibly, Nemona decides to use Brick Break, which does nothing through our boosted defense, meaning our super effective Thunderbolt lands and KOs Nemona's ace, winning the battle. What an absolute tank Ampharos is. And with that win, we complete the victory road, which leaves us with one final challenge. AI Sada, and this won't be easy. After making our way down to the bottom of Area 0, we come face to face with arguably the hardest trainer battle of the game. AI Sada opens with Slitherwing, and we take the chance to max out our defense with 2 Cotton Guards, eating up 2 attacks in the process. Turn 3 sees us use Light Screen to protect from special moves, and fully prepared, we go on the offensive with an Outtro Thunderbolt. Brute Bonnet comes out next, and we hit hard with Thunderbolt. A payback does very little damage to us considering our defense boost, and we finish him off with a second attack. Next up is Sandy Shocks, a massive problem for Ampharos. We tank an Earth Power due to Light Screen, which runs out that turn. We then hit hard with Dazzling Gleam, but I know a second Earth Power could finish us off. We're left with 44 HP remaining, but finish off Sandy with a Dazzling Gleam. Next up is Screamtail, and that is a perfect opportunity. Screamtail's attacks do less damage than Leftovers heal, and that means we can stall the battle here to heal ourselves, and that is exactly what we do. Repeatedly using Light Screen and healing up with Leftovers, we get our health back to 180, ready to take on Sada's last 2 Pokemon. Fluttermane comes out next, and we tank a Shadow Ball easily due to Light Screen before finishing her off with Thunderbolt. Last up though is Sada's ace, the super strong and lightning quick Roaring Moon. I am praying the time we spent boosting our health is enough, and as the Night Slash hits, it drops us down to 18 health remaining. Frost returns the favour with a Dazzling Gleam, which OHKOs the Flying Nightmare, beating AI Sada and answering the question, can Ampharos beat Pokemon Scarlet? Ampharos is such an underrated Pokemon, and even without healing moves she managed to beat Paldea and be crowned the champion. If you did enjoy the video, please let me know with a like, it really does mean a lot. As always, if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching.